How's everybody doing today? Oh, yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm yours truly, Tony Muhammad. You know what? It has been a very interesting day, I must say. Last night was interesting also, so I want to start welcoming everybody to the show today. Our topic is female Freemasonry. Yeah, female Freemasonry. I know some of you guys and sisters are maybe watching the game. I don't know if it's still on or not, but the Saints was cheated. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna leave it at that. So greetings. It's this is going to be a very interesting show tonight, and I got my tea because I think that some of you brothers and sisters are in a sunken chair. So I had to go get my tea. Oh, this is hot. This is really hot. This is some real hot tea, and I'm spilling it on me. But yeah, I had to go get my hot tea today. So, cause I really think some of y'all are some of y'all are in a sunken chair, bro. So I gotta. Woo, it's hot. Oh, I'm spilling it. Oh my god. Hell, what's wrong with you, man? But anyway, oh yeah. So tonight's show is about them female Freemasons. Oh yeah. What you want to say? What you want to say? So I hope you don't get your feelings hurt tonight. And I'm gonna say this here. There was only two legitimate people that reached out to me and wanted to know why I went and to that installation because they wasn't for sure if it was a meeting or installation. So Brother Christopher Jackson reached out to me. He said, Brother Hawkins, Brother Tony, what's going on, man? What is this? I said, brother, I went to an installation. I was invited. I wanted to see this for myself. It was not a title lodge, but I wanted to see it for myself. Just to say, look, I was there. And I must say, greetings. I was there. And brothers and sisters who are popping up, let me tell you, it was more than just me that was there at this meeting last night, at the installation for the Female Grand Lodge of California last night. There were 4 different jurisdictions there last night, okay? Including my own, which made the 4th, okay? So let's hear some clarity on that. Now, I got most of the slack because I posted pictures. I'm like, you know what? Hey, let me take a picture of this. And I shared it. But it was interesting. Now, I'm going to tell you this here. I enjoyed myself last night. I did. Just the ideal of being there and just talking with other Masons who was there. And you know what? We didn't talk about Freemasonry last night. Nothing about Freemason came up. You know? It really didn't. That's the truth. That's the truth. We talked about the installation, how well it went. It was a great installation. We talked about that. But let me tell you, today, 300 posts in my pictures on my page was shared 125 times. Shared. I'm quite sure that many of my brothers of the craft under the PHA banner had a lot to say. I mean, I'm quite sure it's throughout their whole group. And that's cool. That's cool. I would say this. I had the Grand Commander, or the most Putin Sovereign Grand Commander for Romania, female. She inboxed me. Had a conversation. It was interesting. And I was like, wow, okay, you know what? And it wasn't even about masonry. It was about some of the ignorant things that was posted. I mean, it was just totally disrespectful, of how they post. Now, granted, the big question is what I'm not going to even answer that one tonight. I'm not going to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to wait for a little while. I'm going to wait and answer that one because, whoo. So you got to let me know what you want to know because I'm going to answer some of these questions that was particularly posted to me in regards to what really went down in the whole thing. I'm going to, I have to do that for myself because there's a lot of questions about what actually took place. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay in my skin. I don't know about no one else, but I'm okay in my skin. So greetings, everyone who's coming up. When at the women's installation, did you behold the beauty of masonry? Now, is that like two questions or one question? Because I'm gonna tell you this here. I'm a man first and foremost, all right? And there was some beautiful masons there. I'm just saying. I mean, really. I mean, if you, yes, you know. And I would tell you this here. The seriousness behind the installation. They were very serious about the installation. There was no no laughing, there was no talking. It was a very serious and solemn occasion, which I was like, this is interesting, you know. I mean, it was just to be there and see it. I'm like, okay, this exists. It exists. Now you can ignore it and say that you won't recognize them, you won't talk about them. I respect that, but they exist. And now that they're here in the United States, oh my God, simple as that. Because here's the funny thing. See, those sisters who are part of the Eastern Star, the only thing you got here is in the United States. That's it. But those sisters who are Masons, there are female Masonic Grand Lodges throughout the world. They travel. They travel. That's it. Now, some may say, well, I don't recognize them. They don't need you to recognize them. They don't need me to recognize them. They don't need my okay to do nothing. They don't. One brother said, I want to see their charter. Well, brother, if you don't know by now, nobody charters a Grand Lodge. The subordinate lodges come together. They have a convention. They select from amongst themselves who will be their Grand Master. Then from there, they select Grand Lodge officers. And from there, that Grand Lodge issues charters to the subordinate lodges. So they don't need your permission to do anything. And they can care less about you coming to visit them. They don't give a who. Let me tell you, I can actually say that they don't give a who, you know, because to be there and to see the work as far as the installation was concerned, yes, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I've seen installations before, and there was nothing wrong with their installation. It was nothing. Their installation was very close to the way I've seen it done in mainstream Grand Lodges. It was very close to my own installation that we just did last weekend. You know, I shared it 3 times on my Facebook page. In 2 groups, 85% of the comments was positive. Okay, all right. Well, that's not what I've been getting. Oh man, I've been getting all types of hate mail, inboxes and everything. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? You know, I've been called a fool. I've been, man, let me tell you. So it's wow, you know. So, you know, people been calling it clandestine. They're clandestine. No, they're not. They're not doing nothing secretive. You know what? Their meeting was held in a regular Masonic building. Their meeting was held in a Masonic building, period. It was there, all right? 2 pillars, everything. It was all there for all eyes to see. It was all there, you know. Yes, it is possible that there are female Freemasonry. That's what a brother put on a page. Is this possible? Yes, it is very much so possible, you know. What kind of freakery is this? There's no freakery in it. This actually happened. It occurred. You know, I've been getting some positive feedback. I mean, it's interesting. You know, one brother said he was going to contact the Grand Lodge of California and see what's going on. He's going to contact the Grand Lodge of California and see what's going on. Man, look, the California Grand Lodge don't give a about what you think. They don't. They don't. They really don't. But so many of us are tied up. You know, we want to call. You know, we're going to go tell somebody. Who you going to tell? Ghostbusters? This shit is for real. I'm just saying. Who you gonna tell? You know? And that's the beauty of it all. I mean, the works installation was great. I mean, I'm just going through some of the. I even had Charles Harper sing. Charles Harper even had to tune in and put his comments in here. Oh my God. You know, this is what Charles Harper said. Charles Harper, honestly, other than the irregular issues, there is nothing wrong here. I have contacted the past Grand Master of California, and unless this was a title lodge meeting with their members in attendance, there is nothing to be done. He contacted the past Grand Master of California to see that this shit really happened. Come on now. You guys, come on. There are many fights for the progression of humanity. For me, this is no longer one of them. I do wish there were more reference for following the set of traditions that are the secrets of the craft, as it would hold more people accountable. Sadly, with Freemason exposing racism, even threaten my life. Damn, even threaten my life for speaking against all sorts of isms. This is low on the totem pole to be of outrage. Even the United Grand Lodge of England recognizes female Grand Lodges exist in practicing outside of gender regular craft tradition. I don't know. LaTroy, I'm gonna give you a shout out, LaTroy Irvin. I'm gonna give you a shout out, bro. LaTroy said, I thought you did not recognize female masons. Bro, just because I have a conversation with them doesn't mean I would sit in a lodge with them. A title lodge. Think on that. Just think for a moment. That's all I ever ask anybody to do, is just think for a moment. It ain't personal. It ain't personal. Just give it some thought. Just give it some thought. What's up, Brother Lowe? Brother Brown? Don't retract now, Brother Brown. Put it up there. I saw all them keyboard warriors on your post. Man, you wouldn't believe it. Let me see. Are they recognized by any Grand Lodge in North America? Well, are you talking Grand Lodge in North America, or are you talking about female Grand Lodges in North America? Because right now, there are co-ed Freemasonry all over the United States. Co-ed Freemasonry is all over the United States. The Female Grand Lodge of California is the only exclusive female Grand Lodge in the United States that I know of. Okay? The Female Grand Lodge of California, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons, and they practice Scottish Rite and York Rite. They are the only female Grand Lodge that is strictly for females. Now, you do have co-ed Freemasonry in the United States. You do have that. Okay? You do have that. Let me just charm through some of the other stuff. So what about the Eastern Star? I thought there were Masons, a Masonic order for women. No, the Eastern Star is not a Masonic order for women. It is very similar to that. Okay, it is very similar to the Masonic order that we call Freemasons here in the United States. But in no shape or form are they Freemasons. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm going to read through some more of these posts. It's quite a few of them, so kind of bear with me for a second as I go through it, and we gonna see. We gonna see. Hold on a second. Let me see what else is coming up here. I want to view some more. Let me see. I think only PHA are obligated not to be at those. Well, if PHA is obligated not to be at those, then so more it be. But it's a public event. So, as I said, for me, and I got permission for my Grandmaster to actually go and to see for myself, Now, he would have gone if his schedule would have allowed it. My Grandmaster would have been there if his schedule would have allowed it. And as a matter of fact, I think he's going to swing by tonight and be on the show with me. Did you break your obligation? No, I did not break my obligation. I did not. I was at a public event where female Freemasons were at their installation. Now, if you are a Master Mason, go back and read your obligation and see exactly what it says. Now, I told you this was a public event. Now, that being so, now apply that public event to your obligation and see if I have broken it. And then this brother said, man, the Prince Hall brothers have had a stroke. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, come on now. Man, it got shared a lot, and I got over 300 comments. So it says a lot. It is surprising to me that a lot of individuals did not know that there were female Freemasons. Like I said, it is surprising to me that a lot of people did not know that there are female Freemasons. Now, whether you agree with it or not, that is of your own choice. Now, the question remains, would I sit in a title lodge with them? And that's no. No, I would not sit in a title lodge with them. But that doesn't say I wouldn't talk to them. Would I talk to Masonry about them? Would I have a conversation about Freemasons with a female Freemason? The answer is no. I hope I calm the waters a little bit with that answer. However, if you want to talk philosophy, I'll talk philosophy with you. I will. We can talk philosophy, right? We could talk about what's right, what's wrong, can't we? We can exchange knowledge and share ideas and principles, can't we? I mean, come on now, talk back to me. Don't sit there and be like, well, I don't know. As a matter of fact, hold on. Oh yeah, if anybody want to call in tonight, if you want to call in tonight, I'm gonna give you the number. The number is 619-286-0642. So if you are a brother or a sister who wants to call in tonight and talk about this, you are welcome to call in. I'm not holding back. Do the call in. Do it. I mean, I had 300 posts on when I put it on Facebook. I'm quite sure that they know I said I was going to come on at 6 o'clock. They can catch me now. As a matter of fact, come on now. I don't know the score in the football game. I'm not watching the football game. The Saints was cheated. I'm good. I'm not getting paid. It's not going to give me a stroke if I don't watch it. I'm quite sure it's a good football game. But however, this here right here, now, if you got to remember, a couple of weeks ago, I said, how many of you would like to have a conversation with a female who's a Mason? And I thought maybe somebody would say, I like to ask some questions in regards to female Freemasonry. And it's not to say that you're breaking your obligation if you ask questions. You're not doing on Q&A. You're asking legitimate questions in regards to the formation. You're asking, how did they even get to become Masons? What was it like? I mean, now I didn't get a chance to ask those questions at all. I didn't. But I would tell you this. The reason I don't think that females should be in the same setting lodge with a male is because it's distracting. It is. I mean, come on, let's just be honest. It's distracting. And they wear slacks, or they wear black slacks with a top, a white top, whatever the dress code is. It's not black and white though, because they didn't have on black and white last night. They had on all black. And it's interesting. So I'm waiting on somebody to call me tonight. 619-286-0642 is the call-in number. Okay, so I've been missing something. I know a co-ed Mason. All right. There you go. Thanks, Brother Terrell, for putting that number up. I appreciate it. If anybody want to call in, they're certainly welcome to do so. What is the name of this Grand Lodge, and how can I visit the event? Oh, really? The name of the Grand Lodge is California Grand Lodge for Women, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. That's the name of the Grand Lodge. Now, I'm quite sure they got a Facebook page somewhere. Um, I can even give you the information that I had in order that you may get in contact with them. And if they got a public thing going on, yeah, I don't see why you can't visit. But if you're a Mason, you may have to think twice if it's a title event. And they do have a title. And then she has a sword. And she was installed last night. Yeah, sure was. Hey, look, it was beautiful to see. I can't say that it wasn't. It was beautiful to see this event take place because I was there and I enjoyed seeing it for myself versus somebody else telling me about these things that take place. The 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 fact of being there says it all. Now we can call them clandestine, you can call them bogus. You don't have to even talk to them, but they exist, and they don't need anyone permission to exist and to do the works. They don't need your permission. As a matter of fact, as been stated, the Grand Lodge of England has already said that they will support them, and they're the biggest of them. They let people tell it they're the mother, right? But you know what? They don't give a damn about us. Drink some tea on that. Them ladies ain't thinking about us, brothers and sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. They're not thinking about whether we want to come visit. They're not thinking about that. They doing their own work. They're doing whatever they do. And the best thing is, if you don't recognize them, if you don't want to talk to them, let them be. And they will go on just as happy, knowing that they can travel. They can travel to foreign countries. They can do that. Literally do that. For real. Interesting part. Do you have any connection with any North Star program in New York City? Not me. I don't. I don't. I don't. You said North. Is North Star a female lodge? I'm not too familiar. Oh my God, the brothers can fathom the idea of how big are the women globally. Oh man, let me tell you, the Grand Lodge of Romania, female Grand Lodge of Romania, has 10,000 members. Now that's not overly big, compared to Grand Lodges of State, but you're talking about 10,000 female Masons. That's bigger than a lot of Grand Lodges I know. I'm just saying. Now, globally, on a globe stage, it's unreal. They have a lot of members. Let me see. I also know that the female Freemasons in Europe has been around since 1908. Well, let me tell you, it actually goes back to 1805. 1805. I posted on my page about the first female Freemason in her apron that she received. It was in 1805. 1805. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 1717 is the year for what we call the Grand Lodge of England, the Grand Lodge of England, 1717. They say, and there's some dispute about that, but that's what's being said. So, if anybody got any questions, I thought that my man Jackson was going to call me tonight and give me a hard time, but I appreciate Jackson because he's a man of his word. I mean, he tells you exactly how he feels. You can either take it or let it alone. It ain't personal. It's just how he feels. It's his opinion about the situation at hand. And I can totally respect that. Grandmaster Stein from Texas Grand Lodge, Ancient Free and Accepted Mason. He gave me a shout out. He said, I don't see what the big noise is. For a minute, I thought he was talking about me, but we had a conversation. He said, Brother Hawkins, you said it was an installation. It was open to the public. What's the problem? How many of you have ever gone to a gay parade? I've never been to a gay parade. Never. and they have them here in California. I've never gone to one, and they're huge. I'm just asking, because this whole thing right here tonight has been something special. It has been something special, and I'm looking and I'm asking questions. So if you wanna have that conversation tonight, once again, the call in number is 619-286-0642. And it seems that I had a lot of people to talk on the Facebook page, but I don't have no callers tonight. And I don't know what has come to them. What I can say is I got a lot of friends requests. My friends request went up by maybe 100. How in the heck did I get 100 friends requests? I mean, really? Is it that serious? Nah. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm not going that. I'm not doing it. Nick Stevens said this seems to be interesting. It was interesting. You know. Mrs. Wiggins Flood, Cherie Flood. That's Sister Flood. I know Sister Flood. She couldn't fathom, the process of a woman being a female Mason. She couldn't grasp that. She was like, that is crazy. How can that be? I've never heard of any. I'm just reading her post, and she was pretty like, wow. Hey, it ain't my call. It's not my call. They're here. They exist. The fact of the matter is, a lot of us don't read, so we don't know. So when something happens in Freemasonry, you be like, wow, how did that come to be? And I'm going to say this here. The G that sits in the compass and square that so many of us see, you got to remember, the G was nothing. The G came along a lot later. The only thing that really, the tools or whatever you want to call in Freemasonry, is the compass and square. The G came along a lot later. And I appreciate the brothers who are in Prince Hall who really see this as like, what's the big debate? What's really going on here? Are you afraid? Are you scared? And there were some brothers from Prince Hall who really put out some good information. I even had my good friend, my Grandmaster Smith from the Most Wishful John G. Jones Grand Lodge out of Mississippi. He said, I can't ride with you in this one. As a friend and brother, please just leave this one alone. He was like, come on, man. Why you want to go and do that? I'm like, bro, I had to go see it for myself. So now that I've experienced it, I'm okay with me. I'm secure about who I am. And yes, I protect it and respect my obligation. Some people, like Brother Christopher Jackson, said, oh, hell, I would not be at anything with a woman that has Masonic regalia on. I would not be at anything. But let me tell you, here's the funny thing. At the MLK parade here in San Diego about 3 years ago, I seen a female Mason in regalia walking in the MLK parade. I was like, oh my, yeah, that was one of my encounters, And then one brother posted, where in ancient Kemet did this develop? Where in Kemet did this come from? I'm like, wow, I was taught there was no female Freemasonry because Masons, and I agree, because it's what we was taught. It was what this Leonard said this. It was what they was taught. They was taught that there was no female Freemasons. Now, is the boogeyman out there? Is the boogeyman for real? I'm just saying, Come on, people. You got to talk back to me. Somebody got to talk back to me, because it's been one crazy day today. It's been one crazy day. They as a matter of fact, they have 4 lodges. Okay, they have 4 lodges. And last night, the Wishful Master of those 4 lodges was present. And they are part of the Grand Lodge line for the female Grand Lodge. And you know, they had all of them had on their jewel of office. I would say this: their collar, the collar that they wear, is different than what we wear. The collar of the female Masons are different. Now, the emblem, as far as the office, is the same, but the collar is definitely different. It is. It is. It's a nice collar. It's just different. It's different than what we would wear. What is the name of the? Okay, I see that. All right. What is the name of your page? My name. It's on my page. My personal page. I have my own personal Facebook page, Tony Hawkins. Look me up, and it's there, big as daylight. Now I don't know how long I'm gonna leave it up. I may just take it down. I don't know, but it's there. It's there for the world to see. Now here's the thing. Everybody talked about me being there, but let's be clear. I said there was other jurisdictions there. One in particular is the California Grand Lodge. They had members who was present. Do you think that they gave a care about what I thought? Do you think they gave a care about what anybody was going to say? Apparently not. Apparently not. So, you know, if you're going to say that a Grand Lodge is sovereign and they don't care what you say, well, you know what? So more it be. Let it lay. It is what it is. Don't get upset. And the only child, the Grand Lodge is ancient, free, and accepted. And the reason they say that is because they practice what we would call the Scottish Rite. So when you say Scottish Rite, it is under their banner. It says United Supreme Council for the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite. You know, Freemasons. So that's where the AF and AM come into play for them. It is not that they have any connection to the Kemet or Africa or whatever you want to call it, but that's why they took on that marquee, because of their Scottish Rite body. You know, each Grand Lodge can really do what they want to do. Absolutely, Running Brown. Absolutely, they can. You know, I will want to know where all the keyboard warriors at, because I definitely stated that I was coming on to do the show tonight. But apparently, I guess they couldn't take the fact that this was going to happen. And for those who go to the Prince Hall think tank, I know they seen it. Yeah, they saw it. They saw it. It was posted in a group where most of them are at, and they probably going to talk about it, which is cool, you know. But like I said, to experience to be there is totally different. You know, it's interesting. And what I did notice is that they did a toast. They stood up. They gave thanks. They invoked deity. You know, they did their thing. They did their thing. And as I've said before, they didn't talk about masonry. Mason wasn't spoken of. You know. And here's the thing: why talk about something that everybody already know? I'm just asking a question. Why talk about something that everybody already knows? Everybody already there know the works. So why even talk about it? But it was for me an illuminating experience to be there. It was. I would say that. Let me see. Illuminating Light, aka Freemasonry Unlocked. How could these gentlemen not know about female Freemason? When we hold many of our meetings at the mainstream state Grand Lodges, although, let me see, throughout the country, bruh, they don't know. It was. Let me say this here. When I say they don't know, I'm speaking predominantly of the Prince Hall Freemason in Order of the Eastern Star. I'm just letting you know. That's why I got all the slack came from those gentlemen and those sisters. Cause I had one of my own Eastern Star sisters be like, Brother Hawkins, why you didn't tell me you was going last night? I would have gone, you know. But nope. Most of the slack that I got was from Prince Hall Freemason and their sisters. And I got some kickback from a few of my sisters, not in my jurisdiction, but African American sisters, who couldn't grasp it. They just couldn't. They couldn't see it. You know. But that was okay. It was okay. It's all right if they couldn't grasp it. It's really okay. I would just like to know all the keyboard warriors that was posting in the whole thing, talking about you're this and you're that. You know, come on, call in. I mean, you can't be afraid now. There's no need of walking backwards now. Here's your opportunity to have that conversation tonight. Because you know what? Female Freemasons, whether we like it or not, they are here. They exist. Now, over in Europe, over in other countries, they were always there. You know what? Let me share this book. And I shared this book with you once before, but I'm going to pull this book back out. I'm going to come right now. Give me just a minute. I got to find this book. Now, I have spoke about this book on many occasions. On many occasions. It says the Eastern Star, the evolution from a right to an order. From a right to an order. You ought to go see where the Eastern Star come from. The Eastern Star was never overseas. Okay? It was invented right here in the United States. All right? And in reading this book, it actually the female Freemasons are from France. That's where it kicked off at, in France, you know. And so to go through this is like wow, you know. So let's see. Robert Morris, all right, Robert Morris and Brother McCoy. They're responsible for the OES here in the United States. They was over in France and saw that females were sitting in lodges doing mason work. And they came back and brought that same concept, but they flipped it. Okay? And they called it the Eastern Star. Go get this book right here. It says the Eastern Star, the evolution from a right to an order. Okay? Go get it. Let's see. There you go. So you pause there for a moment and go get this book. You can read about the Masonic life over in France that had females in them, and how they changed it and brought it to the United States and called them Eastern Stars. Simple as that. You know, I don't know how people did not know that there were female Freemasons. I don't know how you not know that. And you're supposed to be picking up books and reading, just trying to understand the craft and how you as a Mason can make it better. And pretty soon it's going to involve, you're going to come across female Freemasons. Now here's the kicker, and I said this here. We already know that if a gentleman who's a member of the Grand Lodge of England decides that he now wants to be a transgender, change everything about him on the inside, but I know his body, his DNA says male 100%, but all of this is female now. And if he comes knocking on your door, this is to my brother Prince Hall Masons who like to say they're recognized by the Grand Lodge of England. If that female comes knocking at your door from the Grand Lodge of England, what are you going to say? That you can't come in? And then she goes back to England and says she was looking to visit and they turned her away. What do you think gonna happen? I'm just saying, what do you think going to happen out of all of that? I just look at the sunken chair. Oh my God. Boy, y'all don't even know today. This day right here is going to be off the chain. I ain't going to ever forget this. That's for real. This should lead into the Grand Orient of France. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the Grand Orient of France told everybody, forget you. You know what they did? They took the VSL, they took the Bible off the altar. This is why they're considered irregular by the Grand Lodge of England, because of the altar. And the only thing they have on the altar now is the compass and square. So now many of us are probably wondering, what do they take that obligation on? If not a VSL. I have no idea. That may be something I have to look into and see, and have Brother Sutton and some of the other brothers, Brother Ford, who are part of the Research Lodge, to go and help me find this information out. But yes, the Grand Lodge of France do not have the Holy Bible, as we call it, or you know, on the altar. They have a compass and square on there, but I don't know what book they have that they may call it the VSL. Volume of Sacred Law. So whatever their sacred law is on the altar, but it's not the Bible. This is one of the reasons why the Grand Lodge of England removed recognition from the Grand Lodge of France. So more be. Simple as that. Not even complicated. Notwithstanding the prohibition of integration in the ritual contact in the United Grand Lodge of England, the oldest Grand Lodge will still not recognize co-Freemasonry. Okay. They won't recognize co-Freemasonry. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they exist. We might as well just get over this thing. They exist. Co-Freemasonry exists. All women lodge, all women Grand Lodge exists. All male lodge exists. And all male Grand Lodge exists. There are black lodges with nothing but black brothers in it. There are white lodges with nothing but white Masons in it. There are Jewish lodges with nothing but Jews in it. There are Hispanic lodges with nothing but Hispanics in it. So we can say whatever we want to say. We still segregate it in such a way to we enjoy our own people. And there's nothing wrong with that. We talk about how beautiful Freemasonry is. And it is beautiful. But we got to realize we really enjoy our own people. People enjoy people that look like them, same activities. They do. Now, you may have other friends on the outside, but let's be real. And all Jewish lodge and all black lodge and all white lodge, they exist. All Japanese, all Chinese, all Koreans, those lodges exist. They are real. All female lodges, all co-ed lodges, the closest you're going to come to anything that's being mixed. Period. There are some lodges with some blacks in it and some whites in it and some Mexicans in it with some whites. There are. But I'm talking about a lot. You have more segregated lodges than anything else. You do. The grandmaster of a predominantly white grand, then possibly you may have arrived, possibly. But I'm just saying, when that day gonna happen? You know? Now that's gonna be one hell of a thing right there when that day happens. You know? Yes, it is French Mason is liberated because it breaks all the limitations. Co-ed Masonry will have amity with Hawkins. He should. He's okay. Co-Masonry will have amity with Hawkins. He should have a treaty with them. You know what? It is not me, man. It's my Grand Lodge. I'm just a member. I'm just a member of my Grand Lodge. I've served as a Grand Master. I'm a past Grand Master. I sit on the sideline. Now, if my Grand Master asks me a question, I give him my honest opinion. But the Grand Lodge itself has the final say. Period. You know? That's a good one. I should have medity with the Grand Lodge of France. Hey, it's not about me. Not at all. It's not my show. Well, I'm part of this show, but doing all that work, no. Good evening. I'm not a Mason, but listening to the wisdom that you impart, as well as the character that you exemplifies, inspires one to want to be an affiliated Mason. Yes, please, by all means, do it. Let me tell you, the joy of being a Mason is being among like-minded people who are not willing to just be their own little box. That's the beauty about being a Mason. If you're just a Mason to think that you're in this thing by yourself, that you're the only laws that exist, you're sadly mistaken. For real. You know? And that's the beauty about being part of this organization. It's truth. Now, we could sit and complain about, this body of Freemason, that body of Freemason, but let me tell you, outside of your lodge, and I said all the time, is where Freemasons meet and where they act, where they park. That's where it's at. Now, we can say whatever we want to say. I'm not going to recognize a female Mason. We can say that. I'm not recognizing a co-ed Mason. You can say that. You can say all of that. But let me tell you, they exist, and they don't need my permission to exist, nor do they need yours. They simply exist. They have their own jurisdictions. They can travel to various lodges. They can do everything that you say that you do. They are doing it too. And they're not looking for my permission or yours to do that. They are enjoying Freemasonry also on their level. And there's nothing that I or anybody else can say or do about it. So once again, tonight we're talking about female Freemasons. Do they exist? Hell yeah, they exist. That's point blank. So you could tell somebody, come on to the show tonight. Subscribe, hit the like button, click on the bell, because we get, this show right here is unscripted. It's direct. It's here. It's for any Mason who wants to come on and talk. Now I say any Masons. Now the question would be, is that including female Freemasons? Look, if a female who's a Mason calls in and want to talk, they can talk. Is that recognition? No, that's just the fact that they called in and wanted to talk. Simple as that. I'm not that person going to tell you this show is open to everybody, and then as soon as somebody call in like that, I don't want them to say nothing. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Oh, what happened today, Michael Smith? You need to go on my Facebook page. Look for Tony Hawkins. See this mug right here, and scroll through my Facebook page, and I tell you, and you'll see what happened. Ooh wee. Oh man. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna get something for you. Hold on just a minute. I got something to share with you. All right. I'm coming back. I'm back. So, what I got here is the what took place last night. They said the first woman Grand Lodge. Okay, this is from last night. It says the first woman Grand Lodge, 1913, Honorable Fraternity of Ancient Freemasonry. Okay. In the early 1920s, the Honorable Fraternity of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons changed the name to the Order of Women in Freemasonry. Then in 1922, they changed the name to Feminine Grand Lodge of Romania. 1945, the name was changed to the Women's Masonic Union of France. 1952, they became the Grand Lodge of Female de France. 1958, United Grand Lodge of Alma, Mexican. Okay, 1974, Grand Lodge Female of Belgium. So these are all the Grand Lodges that they have and what year they came along. Okay, first female Grand Lodge in the United States, 2017. Oh my goodness. Can't you see it? Can't you see what happened? So they organized themselves into a Grand Lodge in 1913. And now it's 2027. Now the United States has its first female, all-female Grand Lodge. Woo! That's interesting. Yes, sir. This is from last night. I'm telling you. It says, most worshipful female Grand Lodge of California. Installation of officers. Yeah. Yeah. I I think I've lost some friends. I'm serious. I think I lost some friends, man. You know what? Don't be upset. No, come on now, y'all. Why y'all want to just delete me as your friend? You don't believe it. Oh, ooh, y'all make it sound like I killed somebody, man. Come on, really? It is not that serious. But that tells me a lot about you. It does. Tells me a lot about you. I couldn't call you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, come get me. I need some help. If you allow this to say, well, you can't be my friend no more on Facebook. You was never my friend in the beginning. Think on that. You were never my friend in the beginning. If you allow this to interfere. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Let's see. Laughing out loud. Okay. Brother Briggs, what's up, man? Welcome. Traveling man, what's going on? They have been in America for about 117 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't answer this phone call right now. 15 minutes is all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I'll call them back in about 15 minutes. But yes, certainly, that's the way it's been, She overheard a meeting, I believe. You know what? Brother Lewis, Brendan, I've heard that same thing, that a female was caught in a Masonic lodge and she overheard the meetings, right? And they didn't kill her, so they made her a Mason because she was married to one of the Masons. So the farthest she received was the Inter-Apprentice degree. Now that's something I've heard and I've read. How true is that? I don't even know. I don't know how true that story is. So I can only call it a legend because I personally don't know how true that story is. It's something that I've read and I was like, that's interesting. But if that is so, and she was initiated into what we would perceive to be a regular lodge as an Inter-Apprentice. Who knows what else they did? We would probably never know the true story behind it, but who else? But what else is out there? Really, what else is out there? Let's see what else is up here. Freemasons call the VSL the volume of sacred law instead of law. But if the initial believe in a supreme, they can have the book of their faith on the altar. Okay, traveling man. All right, but you do know that we all call it the volume of sacred law. However, what I do know is that the Grand Lodge of France removed what we call the Holy Bible from their altar. And that is one of the reasons why the Grand Lodge of England has pulled their recognition. So they're considered irregular by the Grand Lodge of England. However, the Grand Lodge of Scotland in France and the Grand Lodge of Scotland and other Grand Lodges, I don't know whether they pull recognition or not. I don't know. But it's interesting. Oh, the veil been pulled away from the Catholic Church because the Pope would not accept his petition to divorce his wife. So they created a Church of England, naming her as head of church. Oh, very interesting, Brother William Stein. And I would add this. The Grand Master of Freemasons over in England is who? Female wise. Do anybody know who's the Grand Master of Freemasons for the women over in England? I'll wait, because it'll shock you. Well, it may not shock you, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. And I've seen a picture of her, all right, with Masonic regalia on. Think of that. Think of that. Think of that. For real. Do black lodges reserve the right to deny non-black aspiring Masons to join them? You know what? Yeah, they can say they don't want you in a lodge. They reserve that right. They yeah, brother. Yep, Brother Emmanuel. Your question, do black lodges reserve the rights to deny non-black Mason, aspiring Mason, to join them? Yeah, they can say no. Simple as that. Just like white lodges said no to blacks all the time. It's okay. Tomorrow will come and the sun will be where it's at today. In the sky. They do it all the time. You know, this is what I was saying about all white lodges, all black lodges, all Hispanic lodges, all Filipino lodges. I know they exist. I've been to them. And it doesn't bother me that they exist, because people want to be around like-minded people. In Freemasonry, if you take that and shape that, it will wake you up. It will. It'll say, look, wake up, man. You're not in this thing by yourself, you know. And it's not this. There's nothing wrong with an all-white lodge. There's nothing wrong with an all-black lodge. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. I don't. It doesn't bother me. What really bothers me is the disrespect that we show toward each other. That's what bothers me. Period. Other than that, I can float on, you know, and let it be. Let me see. If you ever in Dallas, Fort Worth area, lunch is on me. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, when June hits, I'm on the road. I'm going to be on the road the whole month of July, though. The latter part of July up until the middle of August, I plan on like just on the road, bro. Literally on the road. So I'm going to be a lot of different places this year. So I'm looking forward to the travel. And that's for real. We all should look forward to traveling and visiting other jurisdictions and lodges. We should. Yes, Queen Elizabeth. Absolutely, my brother. She is the Grand Master of female Freemasons in England. And like I said, we can say whatever we want. In the next 5 years, the Grand Lodge of England is going to more than likely recognize the Grand Lodge of female Masons in England. And then what? What are you going to be saying then? What are any of us going to be saying? But you know what? If your Grand Lodge is truly sovereign, if you truly don't give a damn about what England or nobody else is saying, you'll say that female, yeah, she might be a Mason over there, but right here in this jurisdiction, we don't play that. We don't recognize that. And that's going to be the line in the sand. Boom. Now, the question is, what Grand Lodges are going to be willing to draw that line in the sand? And I would say this, and I'm putting my money on the black, ancient, free, and accepted Masons. I'm putting my money right there. I bet you whatever you want to bet that the line in the sand is going to be drawn by those sovereign Grand Lodges that most consider clandestine because they are John G. Jones' associate. They're going to be the ones that say, line stops here. We would not be dealing with that, period. That's just me. I'm just saying. So you can take that or let it alone, but in the next 5 years, The Grand Lodge of England was going to be recognizing females Freemasons. And then what? What's going to happen, Prince Hall? Come on now. You know? What you going to do then? That's going to be interesting. That's going to be real interesting. Grand Lodge Estate, what you going to do? I'm just saying, I know each Grand Lodge is sovereign. They recognize who they want to recognize, per se. But I want to see this play out. I'm going to be having me a sip, and I'm going to be watching this whole thing play out, eating me some popcorn, because that right there, in the next 5 years, is going to be interesting. Maybe even sooner, but I'm giving it 5. I'm giving it 5. They're here in the United States now. It's on and popping. This thing has probably been waiting to happen a long time, but it just popped on the scene, and a lot of us can't take it. We need respiratory assistance. We need to be able to clear out. We got to breathe, brother. Just breathe, sisters. It's okay. It's really okay. And a lot of us can't take it. Let's see what else I got up here. It says, but this is just one meeting. I've been raised since November and still don't know anything, brother traveling man. Brother Biggs, it's gonna be all right, bruh. Brother Biggs, you gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. The pathetic soul shows well how it works. The universe at all different levels to find completion. Now that's deep. Malcolm Prophet, I likes that. As a matter of fact, I don't know squirt. Brother Biggs, come on, man. You went down a rabbit hole, Brother Biggs. We had that conversation. You're going to be all right, bro. You're going to be all right. Ooh, PHA is foul. The Grand Orient of France were the only ones recognizing those guys overseas when the United Grand Lodge and mainstream were jacking them. Oh my goodness. That I did not know. I did not know that the Grand Lodge of France, let me see. I did not know that the Grand Orient of France was the only Grand Lodges recognizing PHA abroad, because the Grand Lodge of England didn't give them that conversation. Hello? Oh yeah, who am I speaking with?
Brother.
Hey, Brother X, how you doing?
I'm good, good. Enjoying the show, and I was waiting for you to do a show like this for the longest, brother.
Well, it's on tonight, bro. Let me tell you, it's on tonight. You might as well get your popcorn. Talk to me. What you got?
No, I'm just saying, brother, I can attest definitely to the fact that there are female Masons out there, because I know some personally. I know some in various states, and I know one in Europe as well. So I know one out there in Oregon, one in Jersey, one in New York. I know one in Serbia. So they all over, man. They out there.
But why is it so hard for us black people to realize that? What's the shocking news? You know what? Here's the thing that gets me. I posted the pictures, right? I said that this was the installation. Now, a lot of my Prince Hall friends, I call them friends, they call me clandestine. But when I posted the picture, they was like, what are you doing there? I'm like, but if I'm clandestine, does it matter? I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
All of a sudden, now they want to recognize you in that instant, right? I thought you wasn't recognized, right?
Oh, man, you know what?
All of a sudden, they see you next to a female. Now they recognize you, right?
Oh, that was crazy, bro. Today has been a crazy day. I tell you.
I personally have not seen the pictures as I was at work, but I'll go and check them out, or get in contact with you. But I definitely know a worshipful master. Well, she's a past master. She was just she's the immediate past master, and she's French herself. She's out in Jersey, and I know, like I said, there's another sister. I know she's originally her lodge is in California, but she's living out in Oregon, and a lot of people, man, that belong to this particular order, Le Droit Humain, which translates to human rights in English.
Oh, man, I would tell you this here. From what I understand, the practice that they do. When I walked into that lodge, they had the stage, when a sage, the incense burning. They it was more. I'm gonna tell you, it was more spiritual. It was more uplifting. It was more calm. Um, it was a different feeling. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, this right here is different. I go to my lodge, me like, yeah, bro, what's up, bro? But I'm telling you, it was different. It was very serious.
I personally know a brother who went to an initiation, right? To a first degree initiation.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't go, right? He called me back and he said he was like, he couldn't believe it. He said, brother, if you were there that night and you would have seen what I've seen, you would have committed that same night.
Wow. Really?
Oh, yeah. Because he was telling me the same thing you said, man. He was saying that the incense, the swords, and the spiritual, esoteric aspect was emphasized much more heavily than what we're used to, what we know as masonry.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know, man, these sisters know a lot, and they can go, toe to toe with most brothers when it comes to Masonic knowledge, breaking it down. You know what I'm saying? And brothers saying, "Oh, they can't be Masons. They can." Why not? We see that black and white checkerboard floor. We know what it means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We say it's opposites. You know what I'm saying? So with the opposites, this world ain't only men only.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's females in here in this world. So how are we gonna just try to help the world and ignore half the population? You know what I'm saying? Because they female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say this here. Now, some people are going to look at me like, "Are you for real?" Now, I believe that there's some things that men should have to themselves. I really believe that.
Of course.
Now, this female Grand Lodge out of California, the first in the United States, it's all females. I'm okay with that. It's all females. Now, am I going to bust up in there and say, no, you can't do this because you're not a... That's none of my business. My business is my jurisdiction. That's my business. But however, I'm finding that a lot of people are upset at the mere fact that females have decided to study philosophy.
And I say, if someone asks me, well, what do you think about co-masonry? And I said, well, if you ask me, I mean, why not? The teachings and philosophy of Freemasonry is universal to everybody. If you ask me, if you really break it down.
Right.
And if you really, I know there's listeners on here, but we all went through the degrees, most of us, brothers, you know what I'm saying? I'm referring to the brothers. And, even the way you prepared in that first degree, it alludes to the feminine aspect.
Right. But no, bro, you shouldn't be saying that because everybody ain't ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then, let's just stop right there because I don't want to give too much away, but you know where I'm going.
Hey, look, I know exactly where you're going. But for those who don't go that way, for those who don't read, for those who can't picture that, that's difficult because all they've been told is that, look, there's no such thing as a female Freemason. No, you can't. No. And then, boom, somebody opened the refrigerator and found out that there was some... This shit is for real. Oh, my God. You know?
They reached back in the fridge and said, yeah, we got this lingering around here. Yeah. And how long has this been around? Well, it's been around for quite some time. You know what I mean? Female Freemasonry is nothing new. It's just uncommon here, but once you go across seas out here, it's way bigger. And from what I know, one of the co-Masonic orders, Le Droit Humain, their numbers are growing a lot. Leaving what we know as regular masonry because they're not satisfied. And they're going to these co-Masonic orders and which studies the philosophy and the spirituality behind masonry. They're not selling tickets and shoving, fish fries down your throat. You know what I mean? These people, they really getting down dirty, debating, learning, studying, breaking down these lessons and these teachings, everything. And it all comes, like you said, Grand Orient of France. Not the Grand Lodge of France. There's a distinction between the two because the Grand Lodge of France doesn't recognize the Grand Orient of France.
Right. They had a split.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that's what they say about Black Masons. You guys are always splitting. But let me tell you, them Grand Lodges overseas, they don't play, bruh. They don't play.
I haven't went overseas, so I can't speak on that. But I know that when you mentioned earlier about the volume of sacred law, from what I know, I mean, I personally haven't been into a co-Masonic lodge myself, but from what I know, when I ask these questions, I say, well, what was on the altar? And my brother, who actually visited, told me what he saw. They have everything on there, believe it or not, every book, and it's up to the candidate to choose. And if the candidate and a worshipful master told me this herself, if the candidate wants a blank book, they can use a blank book because they see it as like they see it as philosophically like this is your journey, and upon this journey, you will end up writing this book. Conscious. What this means is that you can't. There's a certain question in the when they ask you about trust.
Right.
And that particular answer is already predetermined. So how can be freedom of conscience have a predetermined answer to that question? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just something to think about because if we were truly free as Freemasons, we should be able to have that freedom of conscience and make those decisions ourselves. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to fall in line with a thing and just say, okay, well, this is what it says, and therefore I have to subscribe to this. No, brother, if you have put your trust in something besides what's commonly known, then so be it.
So be it. The fact that I posted those pictures, and it's cool. Is that this exists. This is just like the government keep telling you that aliens don't exist, and all of a sudden the motherfuckers pop up. Excuse my language, and you be like, "Wow, they exist." Yeah, And here's the funny thing: these sisters are in prominent jobs, bruh. They're not your, and there's no disregards to a person who may just have your 9-to-5 job. But I'm talking about these sisters last night, when I was talking to them about the work that they do, they are in a position.
It makes things real interesting.
Really. Judges and lawyers? Oh my, I'm like, oh, you do what? Really? I am this and, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, now this is interesting.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I know one of the sisters I know that's in Europe, Serbia, she told me that there were 2 lodges at the time I was speaking to her. And she told me as of November 11th of 2018, there was going to be another female lodge. And
it's a unique. What problem? What is?
Just tell me, nope, I don't.
You know what I found last? The reason they don't care about recognition is because they can really travel. They can really go outside of the United States and visit other female lodges. That's what I found out last night.
I believe that. So there's one brother that I knew through social. I lost contact with him, but he was a Grand Lodge estate brother, I think, out in California. I can't even remember his name, but he was telling me, he ended up leaving, and he ended up joining the Lodge United. And I asked him, I said, well, brother, like, this is when I first heard about co-masonry, and I'm like, you don't ever made.
Mm. Well,
you're hearing that from a lot of people who do that.
because this is what like last night, like I said, what I've learned is that they take Freemasonry to a whole nother level. It is more esoteric, it is more spiritual, it is more enlightening. It's more than just going to a meeting, opening and closing, and you may have a lecture. It's more to it than just what I would consider what we do.
Right.
You know, and I found that intriguing because, like I said, when I got there and I was like, start, just like, what's that smell? Stage and incense and fragrance and all of that is in play, and they are serious about the work. You know, I mean, it was quiet. They had this organ music playing, and I was like, this shit is straight out of like the 1800s. I'm like, the organ, I'm like, dang, you know. But hey, it's bruh. I don't know. I hope that we will awaken and realize that, like I've said before, Freemasonry is bigger than where you're at.
Oh yeah, and that's I tell brothers. I say, masonry is. I remember having that discussion with a few brothers, and I say, masonry is bigger than your Grand Lodge building and your jurisdiction or
Mm-hmm.
district. And like, what you talking about? What other forms of Freemasonry are there? And I'm like, well, do your research, bro. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I'm just gonna dangle the carrot in your face, and it's up to you to go after it. Because once you do, you're gonna see there's a whole world out there besides what you know.
Bro, you're absolutely right. It's the whole world out there. So I'm gonna say this around here. The post when they posted that, I cleared that to call somebody foul, and we don't really know who they are. All of my brothers who are Prince Hall are not foul. Now there are some that are. I let that be where it's at, but I won't post it. That's my opinion. It's just out of respect that we should be more civil toward each other, especially, like I say, of being black men and black women who may be on this page, who are members of the Order of the Eastern Star. So let's show that, hey, you know what? We don't have to agree on everything, but let's show some respect toward each other and who we are as Masons in the Order of the Eastern Star. That's all I've asked. And if you want to call in, you're welcome to call into this show. This is different. This is why we have this talk. We want to put it all out there. So please, let's be civil toward each other. Let's respect each other's opinion, and let's move forward and enjoy the show. Thank you. You continue, Brother X.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I agree with what you're saying. So I was going to mention that someone in the comments mentioning Karen Kidd. She prefers to be called Brother Karen Kidd because she uses the title Brother. Yeah, as her particular order, I think I can't remember the name of the order. I think it's Universal Code Masonry, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There was just another order, or if I'm not mistaken, called Masonic Order, which broke from LDH, Ladwaji Man. I wish Freemasonry a lot called in because me and him talk about this all the time.
Really?
All the time, yeah. And he's much more knowledgeable on the subject than I am, but she wrote 2 books. I don't know the names of the books off the top of my head, but she wrote 2 books on the origins of Masonry and how it came to be. And there's actually she came out on the Masonic Round Table actually.
Really? They had a female on the Masonic Round Table.
Yep.
Who was a Mason?
Yeah. No, not what is a Mason. That's another brother. The Masonic Round Table. With the various brothers on the show.
Right.
Yeah, and she was there with Brother Matthias. Yeah, Matthias. He's like the head of that Universal Code Masonic Order.
Really?
And yeah. I think she's a part of a different order. He's a part of Universal Code Masonry, my fault. So there were 2 different Code Masonic orders on the show at the same time. Now we have a man and you have a female giving perspectives. And she's real knowledgeable of what it is that she Holy Ground. Yeah, that's the book. See, I'm reading the comments. Masonry on Lock Road. That's the book.
It's you say it's interesting that they will have a female on the show, but when I inbox them, when I'm on their live feed and I ask them about being on the show, it's like, we're not letting you come on the show. What? Is there a problem with me? What's going on? I mean, am I that bad of a guy? I mean, all I want to do is talk about it. All I want to do is talk about Freemasonry on any subject.
It's quite a sensitive subject, and quick shout out to the traveling man for correcting me in the comments. He said Karen Kidd is a member of Universal Freemasonry. So, yeah, thank you. It's been a while since that video, but yeah, he's right. So, she has, like I said, she has 2 books, and it's out there, man. You do your research, stuff. If you have work, then it's nice.
I said this. When they do become recognized, the last holdout, the last of the line in the sand is not going to be drawn by Prince Hall. The line in the sand will not be drawn by mainstream Grand Lodges. I'm betting and staking the house that the line in the sand is going to be drawn on Black, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons. I guarantee you that. It's just my opinion, nobody else's. I'm just looking at it for what it is. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll be shocked. And I've been shocked before. I'm just saying, I'm staking the house on that one. What's your opinion?
I agree. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I mean, in terms of what Ancient, Free, and Accepted?
Yes.
Being recognized?
No, what I'm saying is, as far as, like, say, for instance, when the female Grand Lodges do become recognized by the Grand Lodge of England, and when it begins to spread abroad, especially here in the United States, in those southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and them southern states said, oh, hell no, they're going to be the last holdout. Because I'll tell you, the Union, not the Union, the Confederate is going to rise again, let them tell it. But I'm saying they're going to be the last holdout. On top of that, when I see it, I'm saying that the Black, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons, the ones that are considered clandestine, brother from another mother, are going to be the last holdout. I'm just saying, that's my personal opinion from what I've seen, what I've been reading and hearing from on this side of the banner.
Okay, so you feel like AM will be accepted here before co-masonry, at least in the grand scheme of things?
No, in the grand scheme of things, I'm saying that they will be the last holdout. They would not recognize female Freemasons.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can see. I mean, it's a touchy subject. So
I see mainstream accepting female Freemasons. I see that happening. It is going to take a minute, but I guarantee you it's going to happen. I see mainstream.
Sister I know, not to interject, sister I know, and out in the West Coast, she personally talks to brothers who are in the Scottish Rite, and they really talk to some female Masons. These are Scottish Rite brothers I'm talking about. Like, they're regular. I'm not talking about, the United, whatever Grand Lodge of Scottish Rite. I'm not talking about that. I know that's what I'm talking about is the appendant body Scottish Rite.
Right.
Okay, and these are legit Grand Lodge estate Masons who on the side, you talk to the females masonically, and I tell you it straight up. The female tells me, oh, you're a Mason, this and that, yeah, and they question it, and they hear about the Order of the Eastern Star. I don't even refer them to the Eastern Star, and I know that might hurt you, but I'm just keeping it real, because what I know is the sisters are serious and want to dig deep and philosophical and spiritual and willing to really put in their work. I refer them or put them in contact with a co-Masonic order. I give them the number, the address, or a page. Here you go, hit them up, have fun.
But see, it doesn't bother me at all. But the funny thing is going back to our discussion before, Brother X, is the mere fact that the female Masonic order mentally and spiritually does things a lot different than we do. That's what sets them apart. See, we think about, we think about the physical as far as the aspect of being a male and being a Mason. They think on the spiritual realm as far as being a Mason. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, yeah, I hear you. I'm scrolling through these comments and reading, brothers, feeling some type of way, about this, I've never, recognized a female, never will. And that's fine. That's your prerogative, man. You know what I'm saying to the brothers who are listening. That's up to you. But I mean, how can you be a Mason and want to benefit humanity, but you're being discriminatory against, again, 50% of the population? Now, yes, I'm not saying these women are going to come up in your life.
Correct.
Whether it be a co-Masonic lodge, or can't they use those working tools to make you a better person? Why not? I don't see the problem with that.
So Nicholas Stevens is asking, through the reading of the ritual, how can a female be a Mason when it's styled to the male? I understand the European model, but there is a reason America is unique across the globe. No, brother, that's not true. It is not that America is unique across the board or across the globe. It is because America has said that as far as sovereign, then this have to come up and be made. Period. And that's when the rubber meets the road. Okay? I'm clearly saying that as far as I'm concerned, would I sit in a lodge with a female Mason? Title lodge. And I'm going to be honest with you. No, I wouldn't. You know why? My answer is simple. I took my obligation. I said I wouldn't. It's just that simple.
Right.
It's not complicated. However, would I hold her? Yeah, I hold a conversation. Masonry? No, it wouldn't be about masonry. But I could talk to her about philosophy. I could talk to her about life, about being a better woman, a mother, a daughter, a wife. The same thing I can talk to her about in regards to, just flip it. It ain't complicated, and I'm not trying to make it complicated. It's out there now.
Oh, yeah. And I think that what we're doing is that we have our own particular lens of Freemasonry that we're looking through. And so we believe that Freemasonry is like that all across the board with this Americanized Freemasonry, when in fact, co-Masonry or female Masonry, females being involved in Masonry, because it's a completely different system.
And you know what? I said that. That's why I earlier was talking about evolution to a right. When those brothers went overseas and they saw those females, Masons and lodges, they came back and organized what we know today as the Order of the Eastern Star. And we must realize the Order of the Eastern Star was not accepted. It was not. Because people was like, a secret society for women? Oh no, we can't have that. And then for a long time, there was some kickback on it. And then pretty soon, you have the Order of the Eastern Star, which is based off of France.
We're rejecting certain landmarks or certain rules or guidelines because they can attest to this or talk to this. They let blacks join too. At the time, a black man was not allowed to join.
Wow.
On the lodge. So
wow.
we want to say, oh man, you ain't mainstream, or recognized by England. Being recognized by England, these landmarks. Well, excuse me, you weren't even thought of when it came to those landmarks either. So you know what I'm saying? So it's not something to even think about, like, in terms of like, well, man, this is just me and me only.
Yeah, and that's the thing we have to look at. For a long time, our brothers who are Prince Hall, PHA, have been looked upon and frowned upon by the Masonic world. They were at one time. And that's just as simple as it get. You have found favor, and now that you are what I would call accepted amongst those who.
Let myself know who I am. I told him, my jurisdiction, and he was cool. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even, on that time. He reciprocated the brotherly love, but I'm gonna digress because that's a whole different subject. Because the subject tonight is female Freemasons.
Well, you know what? I'm going to ask you this here, Brother X. Would you consider the Order of the Eastern Star an offshoot of Freemasonry for the United States?
I would say so. Why not? Well, certainly they have their own signs, their own grids. Like you say, it's intermingled or interconnected with Blue Lodge Masonry.
Okay.
So I would say so. It's like an Americanized version, I would say maybe, but they have their own sovereign bodies, you know what I mean, and it's females only. But I think that because their roots are.
Unlock, if you can, let me see, can I make this happen? Unlock, if you're on tonight, just give me a call. You got my personal number. Call me on my personal number, Freemason Unlock, and we can make this happen. We can make this happen tonight because that's going to be very interesting. I just seen this post come up. So if Freemason is on lock tonight, he definitely welcome to come on.
Oh, and he said he was here in the comments, so I'm waiting for him to call in, and I've been telling him, man, you and Brother Hoffman got to do a show on co-masonry. I know you tried doing it one time, but the connection was messed up, so I was like, dang. But tonight, I hope the brother calls in and deals with you on that, because there's a lot of comments here that I'm reading, and it's not surprising to me, because like I said, it's a sensitive subject, but it exists, man, and brothers just gotta understand that it's a real thing, and it does no harm to you. It doesn't threaten you. I mean, if you're secure with your lodge and your grand lodge, I mean, there should be no issue. You feel me?
As a matter of fact, I'm calling Freemason Unlock myself. I'm gonna call it myself. Brother Freemason Unlock.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight?
I'm calling myself on the line if you want.
No. I got two people online tonight. I have brother X and I have Freemason Unlock tonight. So Freemason Unlock, you got the show right now. It's on you right now. Talk to me.
Oh, what's going on? Which part we are on, because the show was freezing?
Oh, okay. So we're on the mere fact of having the conversation, as you already know, in regards to female Freemasonry and co-ed Freemasonry. And I'm saying that it's on a different level than what we usually would think when it comes to Freemasonry.
How so though? Like on a different level, how?
When on the spiritual, esoteric, because my own experience last night is that when I walked into that lodge, that they had the incense, they had the stage, a sage. They had it was just a different feeling. It was just a different flavor.
Oh, right. That's a good point, because that's one noticeable difference that you see in co-masonry or female Freemasonry, or just Freemasonry for men and women in general. Mm-hmm. The focus is very spiritual.
Right.
That's why you have, there's a brother that's named Julian Reese. You can find him on Facebook too, but he's the author of Making Light, right? He was a member of the United Grand Lodge of England for years, a very well-known Freemason in England. Anyway, he wrote the book Making Light. He wrote a bunch of books, but he left the United Grand Lodge of England a few years ago, and he's a co-mason now. And he left for the same reason. He was like, as soon as I started going to these meetings, he said, basically he was saying how the United Grand Lodge of England would always shoot down his suggestion that Freemasonry is an ancient mystery school. It's a school meant for the development of oneself spiritually, and that our rituals and our symbols all support this notion, right? That Freemasonry is a school of spiritual instruction, spiritual development.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, when he started going to cold Masonic lodges, he said the same thing. He said the first thing he noticed was, those elements like the burning of incense, that they meditated, right?
Right.
That, they dealt with everything that he talks about in his books, the books he wrote while he was still a member of the United Grand Lodge of England.
Wow. Okay.
So he said that once the United Grand Lodge of England made the official statement a few years ago that Freemasonry is not spiritual at all.
Wait, time out. The Grand Lodge said that Freemasonry at all. Okay,
So,
keep it here.
Yeah, all you have to do for anybody who follows like Masonic politics, just go on ugle.uk.org. That's the official website of United Grand Lodge of England. Go on their website. You could email them. You could email the Grand officers. They'll communicate with you. They're not going to communicate. They're not going to reject the communication with you like, oh, you're Black Ancient Free and Accepted Mason, so we're not going to speak to you. That's not how it goes. Just contact them. They'll communicate with you. So you ask them whatever questions you want to ask them as fees on. Brother Julian Reese, he said that put the icing on the cake for him when he left the United Grand Lodge of England. These individuals are saying that there's nothing spiritual about Freemasonry. Freemasonry is just a good old boys club to make good men better. It's like when you have guys who say Masonry makes good men better. Okay, that's a fairly new slogan. That slogan didn't exist in the 1700s.
That slogan didn't exist in the 1970s.
Right. That's a fairly new thing.
It is.
That was part of mainstream Masonry's way to try to initiate, pass, and raise anybody in their lodges so they could save their building, increase membership. This is why today the majority of people that are serious about Masonic studies take mainstream Freemasonry and Prince Hall as a joke. It's like looked on as a laughing matter. It is, because anybody's coming in so that they can make money to save their buildings. So they're doing one-day initiations. These are facts. They're doing one-day initiations, meaning they'll enter, pass, and raise you in one day. They're just letting anybody in so they can save their buildings. This is not a secret. So what you have to do is Google these facts. And you see that mainstream Freemasonry, that's it. They have a campaign, to basically try to sell Masonry as being some type of good old boys club.
Hey, Brother X, you still online?
Yeah, I was gonna say, think about. I don't know if you on Instagram. I've seen the freaking mainstream Scottish Rite body putting up sponsored ads for membership.
Really?
Yes, I have.
A sponsored ad for membership. Oh my goodness!
Yes.
They said you should be doing that.
And if I have the video, because a brother of mine sent it to me, and then it came up on my feed. So if I still have the video, I'll send it to you.
Wow. So Brother X, I know you've been on for a minute. I'm gonna clear this line because I got somebody else trying to call in. I want to say I thank you very much for calling in, and I appreciate it. And tell somebody about the show, because you know what?
Always do.
This,
Always do, brother.
I try to make this a little different than other shows because it's really unscripted. I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm not trying to hide nothing. I'm just trying. I want to illuminate, and I want people to know that Masonry is bigger than where you at. And if you ever think that you know everything there is to know about Masonry, you're in for a rude awakening.
Oh, yeah, that is true. All right, thanks for the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey,
a lot. I'll let you, brother. We'll talk.
Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. So I got one line open. If anybody want to call in, that line is going to be 619-286-0642. That's a line that's open right now if you want to call in. I want to send a big shout out to Brother X. He was like, I can't give you the real name, but call me Brother X, and I appreciate that. Apparently he knows who you are, Freemason Unlocked. So I'm gonna
likewise.
I'm gonna let that be what I said. But brother, Freemason Unlocked, you on now. You continue to talk to me. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. So with all of that being said, this is not to disrespect any brother that's in mainstream masonry or Prince Hall, meaning PHA, at all, because there are real masons in those organizations, but they are very few, very few. So again, though, as I stated with Brother Julian Reese, you know, that was his experience when he switched over to co-masonry, and he's active in co-masonry now. You know, he had that type of experience where he was like, oh, this is the Freemasonry that I've always been wanting to experience.
But see, here's the thing.
You know?
And I'm going to say this here. The mysteries of Freemasonry is what a lot of people look for and enjoy. But when they get there and you bullshit them with the selling of dinner tickets and you don't share this mystery, this hidden mystery with them, this hidden knowledge, this enlightenment, this thing that's supposed to arouse their curiosity, when you don't share that with them, they're looking at you like, why am I even here? Selling dinners? Tickets? What are you talking about? I thought this thing was about helping me to move forward in life, showing me something a little different, enlighten me, showing me something I don't necessarily see. I'm being brought from darkness to light. But what I see you doing is playing with my emotions. And you know, and that's the thing that a lot of brothers insist to see. They see brothers playing with their emotions.
Right. Yeah, and this is why, again, a lot of individuals leave those there's exceptions with the mainstream, but this is why a lot of individuals leave those lodges, because they come in and they're like, okay, like we had a meeting a couple of months ago in Queens, because I'm from New York City. So a co-Masonic meeting in Queens. So one of the brothers who came in, he's a mainstream Mason, right? But he's coming into co-Masonry now, switching. So, you know, some of the co-Masons were asking him, like, what do you think about your lodge? Because every mainstream lodge is not the same. Most are like just social clubs, but they're all, you know, one or two that you find here and there where education is really being undertaken in the lodge. So the brother was like, he said, nah, you know, my lodge, I'm not going to say what his lodge is, but like I said, he's a part of a mainstream Grand Lodge under the Grand Lodge of New York, the State Grand Lodge mainstream. Anyway, so he's like, nah, you know, we just sit around and we fraternize, we talk, we don't deal with esoteric studies. He's like, but you know, it's just a regular thing.
I would say this. I would say this. My past worshipful master, Eric Sutton, Amun Ra. Every meeting, he's coming up with some esoteric stuff. Every meeting. And I tell the brothers, the new initiates, I say, look, please learn the basics first. And he can vouch for this. I'll tell them, look, you see Brother Sutton over in the corner, past Master Sutton? Before you have a conversation with him, please learn the basic information about Freemasonry. Because he's going to take you down a rabbit hole that you may not be able to come back from. And I don't want that to happen to you, because I've had people to actually leave my lodge because they was like, they had conflicting issues. They couldn't take the information that he was giving them. They couldn't handle it, bruh. So I have to tell them, don't talk to him right now, because he would give you information that you're probably not ready for.
Right. But again, this is why Freemasonry is taught in stages and degrees, like with co-Masonry in general. One thing, and for brothers that, not that you have to be interested in it or anything, but you should check out our websites. You should check out our information. Co-Masonry functions as a mystery school. You don't come into co-Masonry just being a man of moral character. That's not good enough for us. No disrespect to the social club lodges. But in co-Masonry, you are required to write essays. You are required to write papers. You are required to go through educational instruction.
Well, the essays I ain't gonna be able to do. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I've already messed that up. I'm not gonna even tell you, yeah, brother, I'm ready. I'm not gonna do it. I can't. I'm not gonna put me through it.
Listen, I'm just saying when brothers and sisters are coming coming into the order
Right.
from the beginning. So we require these things. So in co-masonry, you're not going to find a person that is going to be for example, no disrespect to any religion, but we don't have Bible thumpers in co-masonry. We don't have those kind of individuals.
Right.
The way we see Freemasonry is that Freemasonry is a school of the ancient mysteries. It's not a school of dogmatic thinking or, an elitist type of way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's totally different. So when individuals come in, they have to go through the degrees. Of course, there's still catechism like any other, Masonic organization where you memorize questions and answers, but you have to be able to break that down.
Uh-huh.
You have to be able to break it down. And with social club style masonry, this is the problem. A lot of those guys, not all, but they really don't know their Freemasonry. So as soon as they're required to demonstrate their measurements, to show that they're proficient in the craft, because they can't, they'll lean on the excuse like, this is secret stuff, man. I'm not talking about this with anybody.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
This is what those kind of guys do because they really don't know what Freemasonry is. They're pin wearers, basically.
I will agree. I see where you're coming from, but I'm gonna read you a post that was just posted up just a little while ago. I found it to be very interesting. It says the question is, did the OES derive from African origin or European origin? Eastern stars are from a European-centric origin, period. It's European, bar none. Now, if somebody else got some information that I don't have, please share it. But from what I have and I've read for myself and studied, the origin of the Order of the Eastern Star is all European, with a touch of French flavor, but it's all European, period.
Now, here's the thing, right? Here's a good point as far as that. Of course, the Order of the Eastern Star is fairly new as far as world history, right?
Yes.
It was started by Robert Morris. As you stated earlier, after he became familiar with the adoptive right of Freemasonry in France,
correct,
which was something similar to the Eastern Star that was for the female relatives of male-only Masons in France at the time. Now, one thing about this guy, Robert Morris, even though the organization, of course, was founded here in America, in Boston, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
One thing about this guy, Robert Morris, right, who was a Freemason, even though he started the Order of the Eastern Star, right, it was inspired by the French adoptive right. If you study the Eastern Star, symbolism and rituals, you'll see a lot of symbolic allusions to ancient Egyptian concepts, the same type of African concepts we have in Blue Lodge and Freemason.
It's there.
For example.
Go ahead.
Right. For example. You'll see like Martha, right? The character Martha.
Right.
Who's a disciple of Jesus, right? There's a symbol associated with her that's known as the broken pillar, right?
Correct.
Now, this is dealing with Eastern Star work.
Yes.
Now, in the ancient Egyptian mysteries, right? The broken pillar is a symbol of the god Osiris.
Go ahead, break that down.
All right, if anybody's familiar with the legend of the god Osiris or Asar in the ancient Egyptian religion and the ancient Egyptian mysteries, when the god Set kills his brother Osiris, right, the first time, he puts him in a coffin, right? He throws the coffin into the Nile River and it washes ashore in Byblos, and a tamarisk tree grows over the coffin of Osiris, and the body of Osiris is in that tree, right?
Right.
Now the king of Byblos, he sees the tree and he has his men cut the tree down so that he could turn it into a pillar for his palace, right?
Go ahead.
Anyway, so when Osiris, when the goddess Isis, the widow, right? The goddess Isis, she's a widow once Osiris is murdered.
Right.
When she discovers that he's missing, she goes on a search. Right? She goes on 2 searches for
Go ahead.
Osiris. We see
Yeah.
something similar with the legend of Hiram Abiff also. But anyway.
Absolutely.
So when Isis goes to search for the body, she has to go to the palace of the king of Byblos, right? And she tells the king that the body of her husband is inside of this pillar in this palace. So he cuts the pillar down, right? Gives it to her, and she weeps over the broken pillar. It's the widow that's weeping over the broken pillar. If you know anything about Egyptian religion and Egyptian mysteries,
right?
And for Freemasons, Blue Lodge Masons, we know that we see that symbol in our rituals. The virgin, or the virgin weeping over the broken pillar.
Right.
That's an allusion to the ancient Egyptian legend of Osiris and Horus, the widow's son. Anyway, in Eastern Star work, you see similar symbolism, the broken pillar, right? You see different characters that, in the way that Brother Robert Morris organized it, he was trying to tie in a lot of the ancient mystery symbolism, into the Order of the Eastern Star.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, he did a hell of a job. The fact of the matter is that most of us don't read it that way. The way you just broke that thing down, a lot of the Eastern Star sisters don't see it that way. They can't bring that in because that's not what they're taught. They don't see it from that way.
Right. So everything has a meaning. But even with the Order of the Eastern Star, like the word, which I'm not going to say here, of course, I wouldn't say any passwords, words, or anything dealing with any Masonic degrees. But with the word dealing with the Order of the Eastern Star, it's called the Kabbalistic word. If you study the original rituals of the Order of the Eastern Star, it's called the Kabbalistic word.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Kabbalastic, which means the Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, Jewish and Christian mysticism.
You better stop. You better stop.
Yeah, so even in the Order of the Eastern Star, even though it appears like it's Christian per se, it's a little bit deeper than that, man.
It is, but this is the thing.
It's deeper.
This is the thing that fools everybody. Is because in the Order of the Eastern Star, it doesn't say that you can have any Bible upon the altar. It has what we call the Christian Bible. So therefore, if you get a Christian perception. However, if you go and look at the order for what it is, and you look at how the points are colored and what those colors means, and then you look at what is around the points as far as the lily and the lamb and what the lion and what they mean. Because a lot of people don't talk about those things that are around the altar. They only talk about those things for which they can see and understand themselves, because each point of the star has their own password. Each point of the star have their own sign. Each point of the star represents something very deep that goes and transcends itself into Freemasonry. But as you have just stated so eloquently, that we don't get that because they don't teach that.
Yeah, and this is why I said that there's exceptions in mainstream Masonry or Prince Hall Masonry. Like, there's exceptions. If it's just hard because the majority of the membership are pin wearers. It's not meant for them to know what Freemasonry really teaches. Their whole job is to really carry the landmarks, to preserve them. Just like the ritual tells us, until the future generations of Freemasons find the lost word. Right?
Right.
So if you have a lodge where brother really knows, I'm saying as far as mainstream, then you're fortunate and you'll be able to receive that kind of instruction. But again, even with the Order of the Eastern Star, like just like with Freemasonry, the Blue Lodge, the Bible is a symbol of Freemasonry. Even though we say the candidates could take his obligation on any religious book of his liking, the Bible is still a symbol of Masonry because we're dealing with the esoteric teachings of Christianity and Masonry. It doesn't mean you have to be a Christian, but we're dealing with esoteric aspects. And the same thing with the Order of the Eastern Star, right? If you talk again, it's deeper than just what it appears to be as far as Christianity.
Well, I'm just reading.
Freemasonry.
I'm reading. Pardon me. I apologize, there, brother Freemason Unlocked. But I'm reading something here. I started going through the chat part, and I see that Sister Erica Elizabeth has just started posting something. Maybe she was posting it all alone. I didn't see it. She was stating, she was asking, I suppose I'm just asking for the same rights to practice virtues, lights, and truth, the same as man. I'm a human first. However, I would learn the stories of the five herons to understand more. Absolutely. You know what? Freemasonry is a philosophy, and I keep saying it over and over again, and it is. And my thing would be for Sister Erica, take on the Order of the Eastern Star as it is, because it crosses over into Freemasonry. And the reason being is because you, brother Freemason Unlocked, just broke that whole thing down. The process is most of us don't go back and view the very thing that we say we love and enjoy. We don't go back and understand the broken column on the Eastern Star side, the broken column on the Freemasonry side. How do the passwords relate to the Eastern Star versus Freemasonry? Now, I'm going to share this with you. Hold on just a second. Ah, dang it. So, on page 133 of my Order of the Eastern Star book, I was talking to a brother in regards to a Mason being initiated into the Order of the Craft. And he said that he looked on page 133 in his book, and he was like, no, I don't necessarily see that. Well, I'm going to share this with you real quick because it says, right. Well, I apologize. It's on page 131. And I don't know whoever can see that, but it says the initiation of a Mason, right? The initiation of a Master Mason at that. And you can see down here the page number if you have a member, if you have an Eastern Star book. So you can't tell me that a man can be initiated in Eastern Star. That's a fact. It's in your ritual. Okay? Let's just be real and honest. Now, he and I may have some disagreements. I haven't necessarily spoken to the brother, but I would love to have a conversation with him just to see his thoughts, because I'm basing my facts upon that which I read for myself. Now, he may have some other information that may change my mind.
Yeah, but still, regardless, like, you already know your past patron. Like, if you're involved in the Order of the Eastern Star, you already know this. That yes, you have to be a member of a chapter as a man in order to be involved in the Order of the Eastern Star.
But see, it doesn't happen that way. Most men who become an Eastern Star gets obligated. They don't get initiated. This is why I encourage brothers to get initiated instead of just taking the obligation. When you get initiated, it's different. The feel is different. You know what I mean? So for you to go around saying I'm an Eastern Star and the only thing you did was took an obligation, that's cool. That's you. But the what gets me is the initiation. It's more personable. You understand it from a whole nother point of view.
And in the days that the Order of the Eastern Star was created, the object, we have an obligation, this Freemasonry in general, towards the female, the close female relatives of another Mason, right? And that has a practical purpose, right? It has a practical purpose. Like we have, I don't know what's the right word to use for it, but we have, like, I would say, unworthy individuals in Freemasonry. We already noticed that it just creeps. Let me say creeps, for lack of a better term. Okay. Right? And they don't understand the basic things in the obligation, like your obligation towards your brother in regards to his sister, his wife, his mother, right? Okay. Those aspects of womanhood that you see represented in the Order of the Eastern Star teaching. In those days when the Order of the Eastern Star began, women, for one, weren't just walking outside by themselves like what you would see today. Right. You didn't see that unless they were streetwalkers, unless they were prostitutes. So women were escorted by men in those days. They didn't work. That wasn't the day of the industrial era for women. when women were coming out working and all of that because men were going out to war and everything. So the Order of the Eastern Star had a very practical purpose, a very practical purpose. And individuals who were Masons, it helped them to be able to recognize a woman who was actually a female relation to a Mason, a Master Mason in particular. So those Masons who were involved with the Order of the Eastern Star, they were of course familiar with the signs, the whole work of the Order of the Eastern Star.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the point. Like it's like me, if I see, even though I don't deal with the Order of the Eastern Star, I deal with Code Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any reason for the Order of the Eastern Star to exist amongst us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a reason for it because we make women Masons.
Okay.
But in any respect, if I was a regular Freemason and I came across some females who were part of the Order of the Eastern Star, I'm just not going to jack them because they're wearing the 5-pointed star.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to jack them the same way I'm not going to jack a so-called Freemason if I see him just because he has a ring.
Right.
Nah, you're going to have to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to have this conversation here. I mean, to whatever degree it's going to be wholesome, but we're going to have to discuss this. So, but again, when you have the social club type Masons, they don't care about that. I meet guys like this all the time, man.
You said social club talk. You know what? That's what they used to call me. You're social club, man. You ain't recognized. You're a social club. And I'm sitting there.
Yeah, but no, you know that what I mean is that.
Oh, I know exactly, bro. I know exactly where you come from. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, they're just card carriers, bro, and they'll see you like, yeah, brother, okay, where you hail from? Oh, yeah, I hail from such and such lodge. Oh, okay, brother, yeah, do-do-doom. And it's like, okay. No, that's not good enough. That's telling you, this is why I said, like, social club masonry is, what you typically see in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if you're proficient or not, bro. Like, here you go. You got a dues card, man. Mine for yours.
So
You're good.
I'm gonna share this with you. So Sister Erica,
that's crazy.
Sister Erica posted that Osiris was born December 24th. She is absolutely correct because you can't match the mere facts. If you believe Jesus was born December 24th, you have no idea that the 12 disciples represent the 12 zodiac signs. Come on, people, you got to start reading. This thing we call Jesus Christ, who was in a tomb for 3 days and then he rose again, they're not talking about S-O-N, they're talking about S-U-N. This is why whenever you see a picture of the so-called Jesus Christ man, you see the sun behind him because you can't have life without the sun. If that thing in the sky ever go out, everything on this planet dies. It doesn't exist. Period. So no, you can't get to the Father unless you go through the Son. This is the thing you have to look at. This is the thing that Brother Freemason Unlocked is talking about. The esoteric in the mysteries of Freemasonry is hidden within its symbols and origin. It's all Afrocentric. The ideal is many of us don't take it seriously. Many of us don't go reading and researching, even though the ritual tells you where everything is taking place. It tells you where this thing is taking place. But you won't go look behind the curtains because you're afraid. The boogeyman is behind the curtain. So what you do is you just become the social club member and a card in your pocket. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's so clear, like you just said, with the solar aspect. Freemasonry ties in, makes a connection, in other words, between esoteric Christianity and esoteric ancient African religion, which is primarily the ancient Egyptian religion. Primarily, there are other forms of ancient African religion as well, but the sun is the main symbol of God in the ancient Egyptian religion.
It is. Right? Absolutely.
Now individuals who are fools, right? We have to know that we don't waste our breath with individuals. Ignorant individuals are the type of people that would tell you this, right? Oh, you see the Muslims, they're prostrating to that black building, the Kaaba, right? In Mecca. they're worshiping an idol. Or you see ignorant people who call themselves Christians who do the same thing. They'll look at a Catholic and say, "Oh, look, they're praying to this statue, the Virgin." This person clearly knows that the statue is not the Virgin Mary. It's a symbol for them. It's a symbol for them.
Well, see, that's if you look at that video I did, or I don't know if I did a video on this or not. I said the first language is symbolism. That's the first language. When you go ahead.
Right. So not to digress. So to apply this to masonry, every mason knows the sun. I'm saying every real mason knows, because you have people, and it's not their fault sometimes. Like you can have an entered apprentice after he goes through a ceremony and he starts learning. He'll be like, "Wow, I never noticed that I was imitating the sun when I was doing circumambulation." Right?
Bruh.
And it doesn't mean he's slow. It just went over his head in the beginning. But the point I'm making is that in masonry, if you're studying, it's very obvious that the sun and light are the main symbols in Freemasonry. You can't miss that. You can't miss that. The worshipful master is symbolic of the sun rising in the east.
Woo!
Right? The senior warden, the sun setting in the west, and the junior warden, the sun at its meridian.
The meridian height.
The sun.
Absolutely.
Right. So, of course, the sun, just like when you prostrate or you give reverence to the letter G in the east, the place of sunrise in the lodge, you can't miss that. Freemasonry is teaching you that the sun is for us the main symbol of deity, of God, just like it was with the ancient Egyptians and just like it is with Christianity. It just is. Like you were just saying, as far as the 12 disciples and the correspondence with the zodiac and all the astrological symbolism we see in the Bible.
Right.
So we have to have that what you just referred to, that mind that recognizes that our first language is symbolism. We can't confuse the symbol with the thing that's symbolized. So the ignorant people, like I said, they'll say stuff like that, like, "Hey, look, the Egyptians were idiots, man. They worshipped they thought the sun was, the supreme of all beings," or whatever the case may be. The point is that we're dealing with symbolism. So in Freemasonry, that's how we approach the journey. It's symbolic.
It is symbolic. And this is the uniqueness of the journey. See, here's the thing. In any culture, there's a transformation from man, from boy to man, from a girl to a woman. But what has happened in the United States, there is no transference of youth to manhood or youth to womanhood. Now, this is why you have Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star. This is why you have Job's Daughters. This is why you have Youth Fields or Dream. I think it's called Youth Fields. That's another youth organization for the Order of the Eastern Star Freemason. So this is why you have these youth organizations, because we who are African Americans have lost that tradition of transferring your young man into a man. There is no transformation. There is no growth process. But through Freemasonry and the Order of the Eastern Star, you have that transference. But you don't have that no place else. Every other culture still maintains a degree of where a young girl becomes a woman or a boy becomes a man. In Africa, they send your ass probably to hunt. I'm just saying. I'm not for sure. But in the customs, you would have to leave the tribe, go hunt, and bring back the food. Okay.
Right.
Now, in other cultures, such as my Hispanic culture, my brothers and sisters, they have the quinceañeras. Okay. Then they have something for the male who are going into manhood.
Right.
But we who are African Americans, we use Freemasonry for that, for our youth per se. And that's it. Go ahead.
Again, if it's understood, like it's funny, I was just talking about this the other day, right?
Right.
With a sister, and only because it applied to our everyday living. Right? And this just applies to Americans who are in America after a few generations. Typically, all cultures, when they come into America after, let's say, 3 or 4 generations, they lose like the customs of their ethnicity by being here after 3 or 4 generations. Same thing with Latinos, similar thing, right? But it's going to take a few generations. But anyway, we were talking about this, how in America, in American society in general, there were no rites of passage for youth. So
Absolutely.
You have the young boys, like why do people in the East or people in all other parts of the world have these rites of passage?
They do.
You have a young boy, when he's 12 or 13, he's reaching puberty, meaning he can now, pardon my French, he can now bust a nut, he can impregnate a woman. He's able to do this. And this might happen. It might happen because that force is awakened in him. That libido is awakened in him at that age. So whether you want to deny it or not, he's thinking about planting his seed, man. It's just something subconscious in the human through puberty. So everybody else has these rites of passage to teach this 12 or 13-year-old boy, usually at 13 years of age, that now you're going to gradually come into manhood. There's more required of you now because nature is forcing this upon you.
And see,
right?
Absolutely. And what you're pointing out is absolutely correct. And I just want to add something to that. And I'm gonna slow down a little bit because I'm noticing I'm talking fast. The mere fact that we're transitioning out of Aries, if I'm not mistaken, out of the sign of Aquarius, we're transitioning out of that time now. We're going into a time of enlightenment. And this is going to be like a wow moment for a lot of people. They're not going to be able to handle it. And this is why I say all the time, brother, Freemasonry Unlocked, if Masonry became a real secret society, what are most of us going to do? Will we be able to maintain that?
I think most are going to do the same thing that was done when Hitler was in power in Germany. And when he was in power in Germany, he started banning Freemasonry in stages and degrees. The first thing he did was he sent a notice to all of the grandmasters, whatever your organization was, that was out there, because as we know, there's different Masonic organizations, right? Everything is just not the mainstream. But anyway, Hitler was giving notice to all of the grandmasters, you know, who are publicly grandmasters.
Right.
He gave them notice, like, listen, first you're gonna have to change the name of that organization because I think it promotes Judaism, right? I think that what your organization promotes is Judaism, Masonry, because all you use is the Old Testament in your rituals. To my understanding, this is the type of stuff Hitler was saying to these individuals. So those who were weak, right? They went along with what Hitler was doing. The individuals who are so-called grandmasters, most of them, they changed the name of the organization. Like, we're not going to call it it's still Freemasonry, but we're going to call it something else. Then you had those individuals who were like, nah, I already see what Hitler's doing. He's taking the inch, and now he's going to go take the mile. He's going to start persecuting Freemasons. So those other grandmasters were like, nah, you know what? I'm not adhering to that. We going underground. And then sure enough, all the lodges that decided to stay above ground, you know, Hitler started having the members arrested. It's a historical fact. He had concentration camps strictly for Freemasons in Germany.
Right. He did.
Locking them up. Right? Locking them up. Boom. Now, the ones who were smart enough, they went underground before that happened.
Absolutely.
So those ones who went underground, you know, they started wearing the blue forget-me-not flower as a way on their shirts, as a way for a Mason to recognize another Mason. While Hitler was in power, because Freemasonry became a secret society, it had to. The same thing happened with in 1979 with Ayatollah Khomeini when he took over Iran.
Right.
He publicly executed 200 Freemasons in Iran. Publicly. They were all publicly executed. Like, oh yeah, all of these Freemasons we found, they rounded them up, killed them right in public.
Yeah, from what I'm reading, the brother just posted two things. He said that Hitler killed over 3,000 Freemasons, And Brother Jonathan G just posted, Brother Hawkins, we are leaving the age of Pisces and we're entering the age of Aquarius. Okay, so I have a better understanding now. I got that. I appreciate that, Brother Jonathan G. Appreciate that. If you are a Mason, I appreciate that.
So now, when that happened with Ayatollah Khomeini, a lot of the Freemasons there came to America. They received asylum from the United States government, and over here they have the Grand Lodge of Iran. It still exists. Like, they have about 4 lodges in California, but they're really Iranian lodges. They're just in exile over here.
Okay, so let me give you a little light on that. The Grand Lodge of California recognizes the Grand Lodge of Iran, which is considered in exile. That's the name of their Grand Lodge. Absolutely correct, brother. You are 100% right.
Yeah, so like you tell the brothers, again, this is why it's always sad. It's sad that it's usually minorities, man. I was telling one of my women this the other night, right? She gets kind of offended because, you know, she's just the emotional type. I'm like, listen, man, when it comes to our people, sad to say, man, it's not all, but the majority are the worst to deal with, man. The worst to deal with. She's like, oh, what you saying? I'm like, I'm telling you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Even if it comes to putting something together for the community, it's like trying to squeeze water out of a rock, man. You gotta play the position of Moses with our people. Like, it's real. Like in the world, like you were saying. When you go out there, all this nonsense that brothers do over here, like a brother told me that, this had me laughing. A brother was like, this was on social media. He sent me a greeting or whatever. He's like, oh, you a cold Mason? Then he came back, I already knew this was coming. He was like, well, the State Grand Lodge and the PHA Grand Lodge are the only legitimate bodies in the state of New York. Good day. Boom, that blocked me, you heard? So, but I laughed to myself like, the hell is wrong with this guy, man?
He don't know.
So I'm saying, like, if it was a white mainstream, and this is what happens with the white mainstream, they'd be like, okay, we ain't an amity or nothing but cool. Because we're still people moving through the world. So what this brother did, and he's the one who initiated contact with me. I'm like, is this how this guy lives? If I was immature like you, bro, I'd be like, oh, you dying in the streets? What lodge you hail from, bro? What? Oh, such and such. Most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge in New York. You keep dying in the streets, man. I can't talk to you. I'm out of here.
Keep dying in the streets. But I'm gonna share this with you. So someone just posted, Brother Freemason Unlocked. They said, let me see. People always, this is New Era King. He said people always mix occultism with their masonry and then wonder why they're not accepted. Occultism. Freemasonry has a lot of cultism in it.
Right. A cult simply means secret. This is why I said, like, with pen wearers, they're not going to know, man. They're just not going to know. They're not going to know that. It's all throughout. You know, you can look at the standard work in America, which is Webb's Monitor of Freemasonry by Thomas Smith Webb, published in the late 1800s. Thomas Smith Webb is the brother who pretty much created the York Rite of Masonry, technically speaking. And you can't miss it. The rituals tell you that. Our teachings, our symbols have a near affinity to the hieroglyphs of the ancient Egyptian philosophers. Why do you think Pythagoras is mentioned in the ritual? What was Pythagoras? Pythagoras wasn't Christian, man. Pythagoras is what you would call a pagan. He was a Greek philosopher who spent 22 years in Egypt being initiated into the ancient Egyptian mystery. Who do you think Hiram Abiff is? What do you think our symbols are telling us? Everything in our symbols, if you really study Masonry, are pagan symbols, man. From the beehive to the point in the center of a circle, it goes on and on.
Tell him, brother.
The point is that
your nine emblems of a Master Mason. Talk to me. I know a lot of people only consider one emblem, but there are 9 emblems to a Master Mason. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Even with the all-seeing eye, like everybody knows this, man. That comes from the Eye of Horus, bro. Like, which is an Egyptian symbol. Like every everything in Masonry is occult, bro. I mean, as far as our symbolism, and occult only means secret. That's all it means. It means mystery. You know, the mystery teachings. That's all it means. Just like us, what are we? A cult, right?
Hey.
So you sit there and you speak to everybody about our passwords and our words and our grips. No, you don't. You say, I'm keeping this occult. I'm keeping it secret from you, man. Right? Masonry by its very nature is a cult. That's all the cult means. It's secret teaching.
That is true.
So, but as far as, like I said, with our people, man, which, and this applies to what you were saying about Masonry being a secret society in other places, and what if it happened here?
And that's funny because, brother, I'm reading this. Brother New Era King said, I am not a cult. Brother, it is not in the essence of what you may think as far as Jim Jones. Not that type of a cult. No. This is the funny thing. Where do you, okay, so the mythology of Jesus Christ, okay, he went fasting. No, Jesus disappeared off the scene, right? For 40 days, he went to be initiated into the high priest, okay? And people may say, well, where did you get this from? Think about it. Think about Melchizedek, okay? His name is only mentioned a few times. I think in just a little bit is mentioned about Melchizedek. He was a high priest. He just pops on the scene. He has no father.
Yeah, a good book though for brothers and sisters who watch the show to get is called. This is not an authoritative book, just like the Bible isn't, man. The Bible's accounts, man. Different gospels, different accounts, but a good book is called The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, right? And that book is the book that makes up the majority of the Quran Circle 7 of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Right.
Noble True Ali's book, right? Noble True Ali took the majority of his book from this book that I mentioned called The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ.
And that goes back to this here. And you say that, but I like to share this book. This is called The Mystical Life of Jesus.
Yeah.
The Mystical Life.
It should be similar because these books deal with the 18 missing years, so it's pretty cool. Like, those books will show you how, basically, don't take those books as authoritative per se.
No.
Just understand just for the viewers who might not be familiar, just understand the philosophy. Like, when you read the Gospels, like a lot of...
Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't actually read the Bible, man. Like, you know how you got those people that be like, I read the Bible 4 times, and it's freestyling. They've never done it. Look, man.
It is.
If you're doing your studies, if you get the chance, read the Bible, right? And when it comes to the Jesus, the Gospels, you'll see that in the Gospels, the character Jesus, everything he's teaching about is being persecuted by the Orthodox religious people, like when he's saying, I'm one with the Father, right? In the Gospel of John. They're stoning him for this. They're trying to hit him with stones, like, what, you saying you are God, man? Like, he's like, yeah, Jesus is pretty much, the character Jesus is teaching in the Bible, he's teaching that the nature of all of us is divine. He's not making himself exclusively the Son of God in the Bible. He's not that. Not the character. The only place you see that is in John 16, but you don't see Jesus himself in the story ever saying that he's the one and only. He's saying that, our Father is God. We are all the children of God. We are one with the Father. So when you read those type of books like The Mystical Life of Jesus or The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, they tell you about traditions that deal with the character Jesus going into India, Egypt, etc., being initiated into these priesthoods and learning, like if you study Indian religion. If you go to India, the religious belief all throughout India is that everything is God, like everybody is divine. So when you run into Indians, they're going to greet you by saying namaste. In India, this is a short thing. Meaning that I bow to the God that is in you. So all of these concepts you see like in Egyptian religion and Hindu religion are concepts that that are on par with the type of stuff you see the character Jesus teaching inside of the Bible, like reincarnation, all of these different concepts.
But now here's the funny thing: you say that, but there's a gospel song that's very similar to what you said. It says, "The Jesus in me love the Jesus in you." I'm cracking up, bro, right now. I'm telling you, I'm for real. Now check this out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this with you. It says before, this is out of this book right here. Okay, this is from this book. It says before Jesus could begin his great works in life, and before he could lay the foundation of his works by the establishment of his personal school and personal council, composed of selected neophytes who would be his trusted apostle, he had to face once again the tests and trials of the higher initiation. This time, however, he would not approach these things as a neophyte, but as the one ordained Christ. Then it goes on to say, and since his works would be in the objective of the world, so would his tests, trials, and initiation experience be the objective of the world. For this reason, we see why it was the first initiate indicated of his public career was his retirement into the silence for meditation. That's deep. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's deep, and it all relates to Freemason. So it's like, even with some of our modes of recognition, which I'm not going to put out there, but little sayings that we have also, like let your light shine. Like, let your light shine so your good works could be seen.
Yep.
Every Freemason is familiar with that. Every Mason. That's practicing. But that comes from the sayings of Jesus. That's Matthew 5:16, where he says, you are the light of the world.
Yep.
Let your light shine so your good works could be seen. When you have a lamp, do you leave it under your bed, or do you let the light shine? Right?
Well, a lot of people like to put their light up under the bed.
I know you say this a lot. So, but the point is that a lot of these Masonic sayings we have,
right,
like that, like let your light shine. If you read in the Bible, the character Jesus is saying, "You're the light of the world." You know what that means, man?
Yes.
You are the light of. He didn't say. He's not saying I'm the only person that's the light of the world.
He said, "You are the light of the world."
So let your light shine.
Let it shine, baby.
Good works can be seen.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, to be the light of the world? It goes back to what you were saying about the sun, man, to be the source of all things, right? The source of all light, all light. Telling you about your God nature. So even with our degree work, if any brother is, no disrespect to anybody, man, if any brother's not sharp enough to know that you were resurrected, like you were raised, right? You were raised from the grave, man. Every master Mason. Like, if you're too slow to realize what that means, that's sad.
Brother, we still got some dry bones out there. And we need to breathe the breath of life on them dry bones. You know, because a lot of us can't picture the mere fact that they have been buried on a Wesley course. This is why we in what we call the United States of America. We're some buried people. And only a few of us are awakened to the fact that we need to be raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular. Now, you can say what you want to say, but a lot of us have yet to understand the mere concept that we've been and left for dead and buried. So, until we have unthawed from that thing we call frozen as a 32nd degree, and then at a 33rd degree, you're barely unthawed. This is why even at a 96th degree, for which I am, people be like, there's no such thing as a 96th degree, because you have not yet experienced the mere fact that there are people out there in this thing we call Freemasonry who has those degrees, who has the understanding of the esoteric and esoteric side of Freemasonry, that it will enlighten you to understand the higher concept of the first 3 degrees, because you're still stuck on this group mentality of saying I'm a part of, and not looking at the totality of Freemasonry, for it is bigger than where you're at.
Absolutely.
So look, bro, we've been on this thing for a minute tonight, and I think we're 2 hours and 35 minutes in. Bro, it's still early on the West Coast. But you know what? I have had a ball tonight. It's been awesome. I can't lie. And I see those little comments that everybody been putting up. And certainly, it's been great. I'm glad that you tuned in. Everybody has tuned in and has had something to say. I'm reading this thing about Scientology. The Mormons, they're on something tonight. I mean, all sorts of things are popping up. About the different occults. It's a beautiful thing. And all I ever want people to do is to think. I want them to be free thinkers. Don't just lock yourself in a room and think that you're safe where you're at. You're not. The world is bigger than where I'm at. And I can't wait to go to Africa. Oh my God. When I go to Africa, it's going to be on and popping. And I'm going. Oh, I'm so going. And so that journey alone, yes,
I may make sure you be careful though, man, in some of those countries, man. Except for Morocco, you good. Like masonry is acknowledged in Morocco, even Egypt, but it's still illegal, man. A lot of those African states or Islamic states, man, and they'll be like, "What's that? What's that square?"
Well, I won't be wearing any Masonic jewelry. I have contact. I have contact with a few brothers over there. So my objective, I'm gonna be honest with you. My objective is to go over there and to you can't raise me again, but to be on the continent of Africa and look at the initiation process, because I'm quite sure with the multiple countries over there, there are some things going on over there that I probably won't see over here. So that's my objective. And I have contact and I've made some arrangements. I'm in the process of making some arrangements to go and see some things for myself, and to say I have had that experience, I've seen it, and I have a better understanding. So you know what? So Freemason Unlocked, I want to say thank you for once again coming on. And to Brother X who came on earlier, I want to say thank you. It has been a very enlightened conversation. I'm always learning. I'm always grasping new concepts of Freemasonry. This thing called women Freemasonry has definitely shocked a lot of people. I don't know why or how. They've been around for years and years. And I understand some of the brothers who are reluctant to even say the word female Freemasonry. But you know what? It's here. It's here. Whether you accept it or not, it's here. And that's all I'm going to say. I let you do what you do, and I do what I do. Freemason, you have the last word.
With all of that, peace to all the brothers, to all the sisters. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day or night, and let your light shine.
Let your light shine. And with that being said, stay out them bushes and keep your light on, baby. Good night, everybody.
All right.